while we were waiting for the presentation to appear, I would just like to thank and congratulate our hosts for the great event we did. Thank you very much. So I will give you a short report on the work package 3, priority and emerging pollutants that we have as such slides changing the flow of this presentation since Bertrand will add up his points regarding this PBL at the end of the time of this. So you already saw this slide showing the work packages organization project. So I will briefly start with a summary of the work package 3. So in all 3 partners participated university with 3 participants, University of Spain with 6 participants, also Professor Stefano Donasti from the Partner Institute, he gave a talk in the webinar that he organized. And we also had several guest speakers within the advanced courses and webinar we had. Due to the summer schools that we already heard a great deal about it, in total, 19 students participated from these 3 institutions with 6 lectures and 1 PBLs. At the end, we delivered 2 interactive online courses, 3 PBLs, 1 advanced course, and organized webinar. And those lectures from the webinar are included in the advanced course. So now I will focus just on the activities of the University of Spain. For the summer school, we had the total in Zagreb, we had 2 lectures and 5 master students and 1 PhD student. So in total 6, it's not that much since they share the budget for this. And Hasselt, they had their 2 PhD students. They were really all very happy and satisfied with got this. Since Bosnia and Herzegovina became eligible to enter the project due to the fact that we had depleted uranium exposure, our deliverables were driven by that fact. So we developed the online course named Military Pollution, Depleted Uranium, and 6 participants developed in total 21 short lectures, presentations, divided in 7 modules, starting with the general aspects of military pollution, sources and threats, and then different aspects of depleted uranium, use, pollution, toxicity, and so on. So in total, just to come back, in total, this 21 presentation with students workload accounts for 1 ECTS. For the advanced courses, as I already said, we had presentations within the webinar that was organized in conjunction with ENDS University and Exciting Internet. So 1 talk was given by Professor Manassi on the early effects of markers. And the other talk was given by guest lecturer, Professor Aina Pulchesic from the University of Sarajevo, and she talked about paracetamol new findings and new concerns. We also had guest lecturer Matt Filler from the University of Otago, New Zealand, and he gave more like skeletal aspect of depleted uranium pollution, talking about science communication in regards to depleted uranium pollution and campaigns to ban depleted uranium. Of course, as with summer school materials, this will be also available on the YouTube channel. In regards to the PBL, we developed the PBL that's focusing on the evaluating the contamination in Ukraine, so students can work either in groups or individually to assess different aspects of uranium contamination, environmental contamination, health impacts, and also to propose some risk mitigation strategy, remediation strategies and so on. The whole duration is approximately 4 to 5 half days. So there are several phases within this PBL, from baseline data collection, activation of knowledge, and then different aspects involving stakeholders, environmental assessment, psychological assessment, public impact assessment, all the way to the public communication, risk mitigation, and strategies.
Och man predikterar att det måste kunna få KKS. Det är visat att
Hi everyone, I would like to present what we contributed from the University of Bristol. So we participated in the 2 summer schools. For the summer school in Zagreb, we presented 2 lectures, one by myself, one by Educator, and we sent 3 participants, PhD students. And for the summer school in Hassan, I presented 1 lecture, and we sent 4 participants, 4 PhD students. Then I did an interactive online course for this work package, and it has the name Priority and Emerging Pollutant Exposures. And in this course, I present some introductory reading material for self-study for the students, and then I put together 10 short interactive lectures with a duration of like 15 to 30 minutes. And lectures are always structured in a way that there's a slide which asks questions, and then the students are supposed to stop watching the lecture and work on the question with literature or internet sources to work to solve this question. And finally, they're supposed to apply the protocol. And altogether, I estimate this to be like 30 student work. And these are the titles of the lectures. So first, there's an overview lecture, emerging chemical pollutants, and introduction and examples. Then I have a lecture on pharmaceuticals in the environment, one on microplastics, one on the mutagenicity of natural plant products. Then I also have one about calories as an emerging toxic exposure. So this is about obesity, which is not a chemical, but it is very toxic nevertheless. Then Edu Bankolo presents a lecture about possible health impact of food contact chemicals. And there's one about e-waste by myself again. And then Nachi Hadi, who was a PhD student who joined the first summer school, is now with me at the postdoc, and he's also a teacher at his home university in Kenya. So he prepared 2 lectures. Actually, it's part 1 of 1 lecture, 1 topic, and he talks about emerging pollutants in Kenya. This is an example of a country in the global south that is really affected a lot by the activities of the global north. He also has the structures in the same way that there are slides where you take a break and you work on some tasks. And finally, I took the in vitro microbiology test as one example of a technique that's, at least in toxicity, it is the most important test, I would say. And so I took this one test as an example to show how it can be used in the application in toxicity to assess the toxic effects of these pollutants or chemicals. Then we contributed to the advanced course in this work package. And as we already stated, we can summarize the advanced courses under the title Toxic Truths, Exploring Environmental and Health Risks from Emerging Contaminants. And here I have 2 lectures from Professor Henning Hinche as a guest lecturer. Henning Hinche was a long time ago a member of my working group, but he's now a professor at the University of Bonn in Germany. His 2 lectures are about pyrrolizidine alkylates and about PFAS. They are structured in a similar way as the online lectures that I have prepared, and except they are longer and they are more advanced in the sense that they go from exposure to risk assessment and cover the whole course of the toxicological assessment of the exposure. The duration of his videos is 38 minutes for each, and he also has slides in there that require the students to stop and work on some tasks. He has 4 such tasks in each of the lectures, so altogether I estimated the total workload for these 2 courses to be 10 hours for the students. And then I also prepared a problem-based learning for this work package, and it has the title Toxicity of Lead and Other Heavy Metals, Environmental and Human Relevance. This consists of maybe a half day of self-study preparation for literature recommendations for students. Then there's either one full day or 2 half days of main casework. And then there's another half day where the students are supposed to finish their presentations. And altogether, I estimated this to be a workload of about 17 hours, which can be divided on 3 or 4 days. So the first cases that students are supposed to work on are listed here. These are the bigger tasks. The second cases are smaller tasks. So the group of students, maybe like it's designed to be suitable for a group like 20 students or so, and they would work in 4 groups of 5 students each, and they receive applications which cover these topics, and the topics are lead and bone for one group, the airborne lead in children for another group, the Flint water crisis is supposed to be covered by a third group, and lead in soil is a problem that is supposed to be covered by the last group. And then for each of these scenarios, there's literature recommendations and also internet sources, and also there are certain questions that are stated in the PPL that they're supposed to answer. The task then is to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, presenting that to the whole groups, and all of the students in the whole group know about all the cases. Then the second part of the PPL consists of smaller tasks. These are again scenarios of toxic exposures, and the titles are selling in books, which appeared as a recent potential problem, are selling in drinking water in Bangladesh, mercury exposure in gold miners, mercury in food, mercury in dental fillings, aluminium in food packaging and cosmetics, cadmium in food, and thallium poisoning, and then as a last, heavy metals in for spice preparations. And again, for each of these exposure scenarios, internet sources or literature is provided, but the students need to search themselves on the internet also. And here the task is to prepare just short statements covering the most important points with regard to these scenarios. So this does not go into that much depth. It's just so that the students do not only know about lead after this PBL, but have a general idea about other possible scenarios involving. So finally, we also did a little bit of dissemination. We had the project mentioned on our institute homepage. I presented a poster at the German Toxicological Society conference in 2023. And then we also had a contribution to the online journal of our university, which is in German, and it is shown on the right side of the slide. And the journal liked the idea of this project so much that they chose a picture to go along with it. And in their mind, this is what a typical toxicologist looks like, a person going out into the field and getting samples. So thank you very much, and I would like to hand over to Bernard to present this.